In 2 weeks, the Ukrainian forces have taken more than 1,200 square kilometers, and they continue to advance in a number of different directions. Well, kind of. In the first phase of Ukraine's offense into Russia, they were mostly walking over conscripts and border guards through mostly unpopulated terrain. This terrain consisting largely of fields absent of modern construction. It makes sense that Ukraine would have some success early on, likely because Russia wasn't anticipating an assault. However, now 2 weeks in, Russia, of course, has mobilized what I would consider real fighters. I'm going to read you an interview with the Russian commander that was originally posted in Russian regarding Ukraine's operation in the Kursk region. I strongly advise you not to draw any conclusions from anything I tell you because neither you or I can really confirm what's true there and what isn't. I'm going to do what I normally do, which is present you with the information I found and probably give you my opinion. Before we get into that, let's go over a map of the Ukraine war, which depicts who holds what piece of land. If you zoom out, we can see Ukraine here. If we zoom out a little bit further, we can see basically all of Russia. And if we zoom out just a little bit more, we can see basically the only land that's left on the planet before men probably destroyed the entire thing. Zooming back in, the first thing that I want to look at is showing you all where the Ukraine border is or was, depending on how you look at it. Following my mouse down here, around this direction, up this way, and then over here to the northeast corner, which this is going to be the Kursk region. This yellow and orange area is what they're calling the People's Republic, which used to be Ukraine, but it's now Russia. And then the red is, or owned by Russia, should I say, held by Russia, maybe is a better terminology to use. Now in the red portion down here, this is going to be labeled as the Russian Armed Forces. Again, over here, Russian Armed Forces, some over this direction, and then up into the Kursk region where Ukraine has invaded Russia. This is going to be the border right here. And as I stated in the opening statements about pushing in all directions, that seems to be, at least for now, what they've been doing. The commander states, in peacetime, we might encounter a traffic police checkpoint ahead, but now the threat is far more significant. The enemy in the Kursk direction is trying to create an illusion of chaos with diversionary groups in our rear. Therefore, excessive caution is always warranted here. I believe when he talks about diversionary groups, he's talking about either Special Forces Ukrainians or reconnaissance Ukrainians that are not part of the main element, but are actually deeper into Russia, which we know that they were in there and were setting ambushes and were very successful at doing that. So I don't believe he's talking about the main element when he talks about diversionary groups in our rear. He goes on to say, we are heading south to the front line where the soldiers of the 810th Guards Marines Brigade and the Black Sea Fleet have engaged in combat straight from the march, halted the advance of the enemy units. The task was to organize an ambush and control the sky for an advancement of enemy equipment, to detect and destroy it. We took up positions, set up ambushes and observation points. The UAV crews are working continuously, both day and night. We've already destroyed a Kozak, Ukrainian armored combat vehicle, and disabled a Stryker, an American armored personnel carrier. I remember Kozak being one of the terminology that was used in one of the videos that I was reviewing, and I thought that that was a call sign. It still could be a call sign, the context in which they were using it in the video that I was reviewing. But it does look like Kozak is the name of a certain Ukrainian armored vehicle. He makes a statement about Ukrainian tanks attacking residential areas, stating because they are unable to secure the village, they are pounding residential buildings to prevent the Russians from utilizing them. He goes on to make the statement essentially saying that because the Ukrainians are not pushing aggressively, it's giving them the opportunity to take out a number of Ukrainian equipment and personnel. Now, this does seem to be accurate information, as photos do depict Russian military attacking and being very successful at eliminating Ukrainian vehicles in the Kursk region. He goes on to detail a number of different skirmishes that occur, of course resulting in the Russian military being the victor, and he states, the so-called Ukrainian elite darted across the open space like hunted animals, receiving devastating blows from all sides. A warm welcome from the Black Sea Marines. He goes on to kind of seemingly brag that he allows the Ukrainians to get close before ambushing them. The closer they are, the less chance they have to call in artillery, which for an ambush, you do want them to be close because otherwise it probably isn't an ambush. The commander says the Ukrainians sent a company, which is, according to him, 7 units. I have no idea how many men that actually is. The commander uses the term specialists, and if I had to guess, he's talking about special forces or reconnaissance Ukrainians, because he goes on to say they try to infiltrate with small groups. But they don't understand that before sending a group of even 15 people into our forests, they need to ensure logistics, food, water, communication, and ammunition. When their supplies run out, they just surrender. They are dropped here and forgotten. They think they can hold something, but without logistics and support, they won't succeed. The commander goes on to brag about an American Humvee that they destroyed, saying it's not a good advertisement for the NATO arsenal. The commander says that the confusion of the early days of the invasion into Kursk have come to pass, and the serious combat work has begun.